Welcome to my third project home. This one will probably be the first video on YouTube. First one I finished, I didn't record. Second one is gonna take a lot longer. As you can see, it's quite crusty. This paint, I don't hate the color, but they did a terrible job and I don't know what the color is, and I figured, you know what, I'll just repaint it. Something a little nicer, probably a nice light gray. Trim desperately needs painted. It's yellow. Also, the ceiling is yellow, so we're gonna repaint that too. That's ridiculous. That is what it looks like after 100 years of blowing crap through there. The kitchen is not bad. Got a nice little laundry hookup. That's brand new. Nice freshly painted cabinets. Some nice hardware there. These hinges, though, I'm not so sure about. This also does need touched up. I don't think they used the right paint for this. I don't think this is enamel, so might have to redo that. This wallpaper has got to go. Probably put gray up there, like a darker gray. Nice little accent. Not trying to make it, you know, the Four Seasons, but definitely gonna clean it up a little bit and stuff like that. It really doesn't take too much effort. We've got some crusty vents, some crusty fixtures, all of which will need to go. I'm not sure what to do with these wood doors. I guess I could paint them, but they're just gonna be like white boxes if I paint them, so I'm not really sure what to do. The bathtub is messed up. We're gonna have to fix that. Let's see. I saw it might have been leaking a little bit. I think it's just mostly from the moisture that comes through on those fixtures there. Overall, I've seen way worse, so I'm not gonna be ripping out the bathtub. It's cast iron. Not worth messing with. Worst case, I'll have to refinish it. I think it's actually just not that bad. Good old magic eraser. However, hold on, let me do the reveal. Holy crap. We've got somebody try to break into the bathroom. I'm not sure why, because it's incredibly crusty. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. As you can see, oh no. All of it needs replaced. All of it needs ripped out. This is a terrible color. It smells like a bowling alley in here. That I hate. It's actually kind of cool. I remember having one of these as a kid. I think it's vintage, or maybe it's just supposed to look vintage. I'm not sure. This vanity might be the only thing that stays. I kind of like it. It looks like, you know, it's kind of like a head fake. You're like, wow, I have so many drawers, and then whoop, just one. It's not terrible, but I think I would have to repaint it. These are only like 140 bucks. I'm not really doing a budget fix up. I just want to get it done, so I'll probably just buy a new one. They're only like 140 bucks at Lowe's. This surround is the crustiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Look at that. I think they tried to paint it with just normal paint, not even epoxy. And whoever did this sealant was hell-bent on making sure that you couldn't distinguish between layers of sealant, I guess. I'm so confused. All you gotta do is just wipe it off a little bit. This place is filthy. This stuff, I'll probably redo all of that. I hate this stuff. It's really hard to get off, and then you gotta scrape the glue off. It's a mess. What have I gotten myself into? As you can see, the ceilings are really yellow here too. It looks like they used a high gloss finish paint on the ceilings. Who does that? All of these outlets need replaced. They're extremely crusty. looks like it's going to be alright. This is my biggest concern right now. The only way to get this off here is going to be to get the nail grinder and chop it off and do it. But really, it's not worth it. Alright, welcome to the finished product. You probably noticed we're missing some progress on the time lapses. Nice new backsplash. That's because I ran out of storage space on my phone. Fortunately, I think I'm going to buy a video camera depending on how well the YouTube thing goes. Hopefully we'll take care of that situation. I got to replace this fridge tonight. That's the last thing I got to do because that thing is beyond repair. But other than that, it's pretty much good to go. Doing tours today. Had about 6 people come through so far, and pretty much every single one of them applied. Put it up for $600 a month. That seems like a good price to me. It might be a little bit too cheap. See those lights? Those lights are pretty cool. I don't know if they come across on camera. I like the little fancy light bulbs. Yes, we made some significant progress, and I have no way to prove that I did it, but I did. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty much can't go wrong for $600 a month. Where else are you gonna find a place like this? We painted all this. It was extremely crusty in here before. Now it's nice and clean. Nice white and clean. And that's about it. We will sign a lease and I'll give the price breakdown. Show you what I paid, show you what I invested, show you what I paid myself. I think I'm just gonna pay myself in equity. Because if I do pay myself, I think this took 2.5 weeks. So if I paid myself, it would have to be around $5,000 in labor, which would put it at just shy of a 20% ratio. But then we also increased the property value, so that's what I'm saying when I say I'll pay myself in equity. My net worth is increased, but my cash is pretty bad. I've spent all my money. Yep, let's get to the breakdown. All right, let's go ahead and go through the breakdown here. As you can see, I was fairly conservative with my estimates. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna go ahead and pay myself $5,000 for the work that I did. It took me about 2.5 weeks. So paying myself $5,000 as a handyman in 2.5 weeks adds up to about a 6-figure salary, just as a handyman for my second project ever. Still had a lot of instances where I didn't know what I was doing. Still had a lot of instances where I screwed things up and had to redo them. Still only took 2.5 weeks, and I was able to pay myself a 6-figure salary for being a clueless handyman. So that's pretty cool. I estimate the value after the repairs of the upstairs unit at around $65,000. That's still way less than $50 a square foot. And let's see. And I think it's worth every bit of that. The Zillow estimate currently has it at $58,000, I believe, and it doesn't know all the work that I put into it. It's just that house is worth more than what I paid for it, essentially, and it's also appreciated. So the way Zillow estimates things is based on sale price of other similar houses in that area, which I have seen a lot of more expensive houses sell since I bought that one. We were able to rent out the upstairs unit for $1,100, which not $1,100, $600, which puts the total monthly rent at $1,100, as the downstairs unit is paying $500 a month. And then we have the expenses: an annual property tax rate of $600, total insurance of $200, and other costs, which is mostly just water, trash, sewer, at $750. There's also like $200 a year in there for things that are just maybe eventually going to break. I'm going to do all the maintenance myself, all the management stuff, all going to do that myself, just something I have to do occasionally. We're going to say that's a wash. It won't, it's just a little errand that I have to run occasionally. It does have new roof, furnaces, water tanks. I assume something will break at some point, but it shouldn't be too expensive. So I only put $200 a year for the repair costs or like other costs. A vacancy rate of 5%, which I think is probably high. So I listed the upstairs unit for $600 a month, got instant traction, had like 4,000 views on Facebook, got a ton of people wanting to see it. I scheduled about 20 viewings. Every single person showed up. Every single person applied, and there were so many qualified applicants. It really made me want to buy more property in that area, because it was pretty astonishing, honestly. The people that I rented it to was a nice young couple. They made $4,500 a month in combined income and had a leading credit score of 760, something like that. Over 700, which is crazy for that. Typically if you're renting someplace for $600 a month, it's like, hey, you're cool, man, you're a slumlord. Clearly I'm renting to a very nice, not slum people. Put the value appreciation pretty conservatively at 3%. That's just the average rate of inflation. Obviously, it's going to be at least 3%, so that's extremely conservative. Typically, real estate appreciates at a higher rate than that. And obviously, inflation will typically be higher than that as it goes up and then comes back down to 3% and then goes up again. Very, very, very rarely goes below 3%. So I think that's fair. Let's go ahead and see what that yields us. 22% returns after being able to employ myself on a 6-figure salary for that long, which is awesome. As you can see, we got a nice little bit of cash flow. And then it gives you the final sale price at around $110,000, which I think that's, for 20 years from now, that's super reasonable. Let's see real quick if I was just in it, which I am, just in it for the perpetual income, that if I didn't pay myself anything, that would put us at 24% returns, which is super awesome for a rental property. For something that only took 2.5 weeks to fix up, that's amazing. Also, I just got word that the downstairs tenant is planning on moving out. I don't know that if it's anything I did. They said it was just a little hectic since the property sold. He was the only one there showing it. So like they were living there when I bought the property. When it was being sold, he had to walk people through his unit, and there was a ton of people interested. So I understand like that sucks. Nobody wants to do that. It's always nerve-wracking when you get a new owner. And also, I think he definitely knows how much I rented the upstairs unit for. His unit is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The upstairs unit is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. His unit is 850 square feet, and the upstairs unit is 650 square feet ish. I think it's 1,600 square feet total, but his unit is much, much bigger, much, much nicer. So I think he saw the writing on the wall. He knew it wasn't going to be a long-term solution for him, and I was definitely going to have that conversation at some point. As soon as I rented out the upstairs unit, I realized what the demand was in that area, and it blew me away. So I was definitely planning on having the conversation, which sucks. Nobody wants to have that conversation. Nobody wants to kick out a tenant. Nobody wants to raise rents on a tenant. I was probably going to say, like, look, I'm going to have to charge you $600 a month if you want to stay. I think if I kicked you out and rented it or put it on the market as is, I'd probably get like $650. So I'm giving a little bit of a discount just so I don't have to mess with it. So you can live in peace. But luckily we don't have to do that, which is awesome. Because I don't want to have those conversations. That nobody wants to have those conversations. That sucks. But at the same time, you're a business owner. You have to maximize your returns. So it's a tough situation. That's just something you got to deal with when you own properties. Just always be polite. Always be reasonable. You are messing with people's lives. So, be fair. But that does give us an interesting opportunity to see what would happen if I fixed up the downstairs unit and got even more out of it. Let's say it costs $2,000 in materials to fix up. So at that point, the whole house is fixed up. In that area, a very nice fixed up house built in that time without a garage. There's one knock on it. It does have off-street parking in the first floor unit. The second floor unit does not. We could say $100 a square foot. I think that's kind of crazy. Essentially, I'm extremely certain we could get $1,350 in total, because I could get $750 for the downstairs unit and then $600 for the upstairs unit. Probably $650. Probably should have gone for $650, but is what it is. So if you just if an investor comes in like BlackRock or whatever, they're usually looking for 10% returns. They want to buy houses in nicer areas that are younger, and they're looking for 10% returns. I think at this low bar of entry, it would just be some person or some small LLC that buys it. They would probably be looking for like a 15% return, which, if I do my algebra right, it'd be 0.15 equals 1,350 times 12 over X, which would be the sale price of the home, and that gives X equal to $108,000 if I was to sell it with that monthly rent. They would buy it for $108,000 and then make $16,000-ish a year, which would give them a 15% return. So I think 108 would probably be fair. I don't want to get too crazy with the estimates because they do skew the percent return. So we're going to be conservative, and we're going to go for like 92. Now let's go ahead and run that. So that gives us 28%. That's pretty crazy. And then a really nice cash flow. And then a total sale price of, so it'd be this 180,000 minus 23 for the rental income. And it's around 165, which is $100 a square foot. In 20 years, oh, it will definitely be worth $100 a square foot. There's no question. So yeah, I think that's fairly conservative. That also factors in my conservative rate of appreciation. But I think 92,000 is probably about right. If it's all fixed up, nice, ready to go, fresh tenants, everybody's qualified. Yeah, I don't see any way you don't get that. So yeah, even if I do pay myself, which I didn't in this theory here, say I pay myself $10,000 for a little bit over a month worth of work, it's still 25%. That's pretty nuts. And that employs me as a bootleg terrible handyman for over a month. Like, you can't go wrong. You could definitely pay somebody to do what I did for about $10,000 for both units. So yeah, you just got to find the right deal, and they're out there. Cash is king always. I don't know. Did I mention? I think I probably mentioned at some point. The guy that was selling it was in the hospital. He needed the money. I came in with cash and was ready to go. So I think I beat out probably some higher offers that were mortgage based. But even if you don't, $50,000 is a super low barrier to entry. I actually have the mortgage calculator over here. Very nifty tool. If you are not aware that it exists, just type in mortgage calculator in Google. You would only have to make $15,000 a year. That's like $1,200 a month. I think that's less than minimum wage. And then bring a down payment of $10,000. So super duper attainable. I think the average savings rate in America is over or just about at $10,000 a month or a year. So, or sorry, $10,000 saved. And then obviously $15,000 a year is super low. I think that's like impoverished. So it's super duper attainable at that point. And then you just need money to fix it up or do it yourself. So yeah, I'm sure there's some stock out there that's going to return more than 25% a year. But you're not going to be able to employ yourself for a month and a half. You're not going to be able to learn the ins and outs of real estate. You're not going to be able to learn how to fix things on yourself, by yourself. And I feel way more confident putting my money into a rental property that I know is going to work. I know the area. I know, I can see the tenants. I can be at the property. I prefer real estate to stocks every single day of the week. Plus, it gives you perpetual income you can borrow against. You can't, unless you have dividend stocks, but it's never going to give you this kind of return. I think this is the best way to build your wealth, especially at the start. And like I showed you, it's very, very low bar of entry. I recommend it. And hopefully this video gives you the motivation and confidence to get out there and do it yourself. And I appreciate you watching.